Let's take a twist on the Disney Lorcana booster pack openings you see so commonly online by making several predictions about what we will find in these booster packs. Now, they're all going to be sealed straight from the booster box, otherwise that wouldn't be a lot of fun, and we'll explain what we're doing along the way. So let's check out our first booster pack. Now, in each of these, as we open up, we'll see the QR code towards the back. We're going to be turning around towards the first card. Now, the first card can be any ink color other than steel. Typically, it starts with amber, but we'll see what we get in our first run. We did start with an amber. So we're coming up with a Timon. Now we're going to look and kind of guess what we think the next cards are going to be. So now that we have a Timon, the next card will either be a Tinkerbell ally or Dr. F. So let's see what we have next. All right, there's Tinkerbell ally. So now what we're going to see is we're going to have our next three cards are going to be an Emerald, Sapphire, and Ruby. We're going to see a Peter Pan, a Mickey Mouse Detective, and another Peter Pan Fearless. So let's look at that next card that we think is going to be a Peter Pan Never Landing. After Peter Pan Never Landing, we're going to think it's a Mickey Mouse Detective. And after Mickey Mouse, we're looking for that Fearless Ruby. Peter Pan Fearless. Our next card is going to be that steel card. So we got Cerberus this time. So those, we have now made through our 6 common cards. So the question is going to be, what is going to be our uncommon? So let's see what our first uncommon can be. It could be any ink color. And we start off with Moana. So we're starting off with a Ruby card, and that's going to affect our order of what we think the next one is going to be. So with Moana, there's a few that it could be. We think it's going to be either Reflection or Olaf. So either way, Amethyst, Reflection, or Olaf coming. So we have Reflection. So our next card is going to be an Emerald Tamatoa, our fun Drablo crab. All right, let's see what we have. We're going to start going into our rarities. We get a Scar, a Maximus, and then our foil, Simba, Future King, and then you end with one of the art pieces. So let's go ahead and lay these cards out. Let's see what we can tell about them and why we were able to do that. The reason we can predict some of these is because the Disney Lorcana packs are not random. So we know that they contain 12 cards. You have 6 common, 3 uncommon, 2 rare, 1 foil, and then the art card. When they're constructing these, they want to minimize duplicates or multiples of certain ink colors. So we see in our commons is we have 1 of each ink color. And then you have half of your ink colors in your uncommon slot as well. All right, let's check out the next one, see what we can do. Once again, just sealed booster pack. Once again, first card will not be a steel, most likely an amber, but it can be anything. Throw this over here. So here's our second pack. All right, so we're starting off a little bit different, which is good because they do switch those around. So that first card really can be any color but steel. So we're going to start off with the Jasmine. And so what makes this interesting is we know the next card is going to be Icy. There's Elsa, Icy Surfer. So the question becomes, what's going to be the next card? It will be either an Amber, Control Your Temper, or a Healing. There's our Healing Glow. All right, so now we know the next cards are going to be our Wardrobe and a Duke. So we have the Wardrobe and our our Duke of Wesselton. Our next card will be a steel card. So we got Simba, Future King. And now we're going to go into those uncommons. It can be any color to begin with. We're going to go ahead and start off with that coconut basket. All right, so we're starting off with Sapphire and Coconut. So our next cards will either be an Ariel, an Amber Ariel, or a Prince Philip. We have an Ariel. And so our next card should be Kronk. And there he is. All right, let's see what we get in those rare slots. It's always fun to see the common and uncommon, but it's always good to be able to grab your sword. We got a Queen. We got Phil as our foil. And we got another piece of artwork. All right. Go ahead and lay these out as well. Once again, just so we can see and compare. So we're starting to see some patterns. There's also a flow to the commons. So commons go amber, amethyst, emerald, sapphire, ruby, and then back to amber. So you see a perfect structure here. And then this one, even though we started off right different, and we were starting with sapphire, look what happens. Amber, amethyst, emerald, sapphire, ruby, back to amber. So you're going to see that flow. In those first 6 cards, you're going to get one of each of the ink colors, and they're going to be in that order. The uncommons also have an order, but interestingly enough, it's different. So the order for the uncommons is amber, steel, ruby, amethyst, emerald, and back to sapphire. And those continue on to amber and so on. So we're seeing those kind of patterns play out. You get 6 of the colored inks and then half the colored inks in your uncommon. All right, let's check out our third booster pack. It's always fun to open it up, to be able to see what's in there, understand a little bit more about what is happening with your Disney Lorcana card, what Ravensburger was doing as they're printing and constructing these cards. So once again, first card will not be steel. More than likely it will be amber, but it can be any color just like we saw before. So let's see what this pack starts with. All right, we're starting with a ruby and we're starting with Goofy. So a little bit different, a little bit further in the order of colors. So our next card is going to be an amber because it goes ruby, then amber. And so we're going to be looking at a Hakuna Matata or a Hey Hey. So let's see what we got. There's our Hakuna Matata. Awesome. So what that means is we're going to see a broom afterwards. Brooms always follow Hakuna Matata. And then a stampede and a flounder. So our next one should be a broom. There's our magic broom. Followed by a stampede. And finally by a flounder. All right, next card will be a steel. So we got break. And then we're going to go into our uncommon cards. Once again, it can start with any color for the uncommon, but that order is going to stay the same as it moves through each of the 6 ink colors. So with Fan the Flame, our next card is going to be an Anna. There she is. And she's going to be followed either by a Mad Hatter or a Jasper. And there's the Mad Hatter. We're going to go into our rarities. Let's see what we get. Well, we got another Grab Your Sword. A Just in Time. And wow, okay. And that is an interesting pull for what we were going for. So we ended up with an Enchanted Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue. Okay. Was focused on the commons and uncommons, but that's a great find as well. All right. So let me go ahead and lay these out. Now, all of these came from different booster boxes. So we're seeing the pattern, and we wanted to pull one from each, and you'll see that with the numberings on the packs. So your booster box lines up with one of these print codes. And so what we wanted to do was pull something different from different booster boxes. Got a very lucky pull with an Enchanted. And we wanted to make sure with these that we're also seeing the differences between them, because each of those booster boxes was also from a different print run. So one of the things that we're going to explore is how to look at the various sealed product and exposed cards, understand a little bit more about what's going on in and around the world of Disney Lorcana. For example, these are not the only print sets. There's actually a fourth one as well that has come out. And you're going to see it has a different number. It also has a different structure. This one can start with steel. So we're going to talk about that and why we think Ravensburger actually uses a second printer for the first chapter and for Rise of the Floodborn. So we're going to dive into these questions and others. We are My First Lore, a podcast that explores in and around the world of Disney Lorcana. We have an amazing first season lined up for you. So please subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you real soon.